Hey you guys, thank you so very much for coming back to my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and share my videos. And y'all, today we're going to talk about how to be considerate, or learning to be considerate. It is just too many people in the world that don't know how to be considerate. And me and my soul sister were talking the other day, and we came up on the topic, and I was like, you know what, that's what I'm about to talk about, because it's ridiculous that even as adults, there are some people that are grandmothers that don't know how to be considerate. It's like, really, what's going on with you? Were you not taught this? Were you just don't care? You that disrespectful? So yeah, we're just about to get right into it. Destany's way, it's gotta be her way. Destiny's way. When it comes to being considerate toward others and even yourself, I didn't think of this at first like, oh, you should be taught that, because I sometimes think it's just natural, because naturally at times I have natural characteristics to where I wasn't taught this. Is just in me, and being considerate is something that I feel is just in me. So but after talking and asking a couple of questions, it is safe to say that you have to be taught to be considerate. And so therefore it is down to our parents and grandparents, our guardians, to teach us and teach those that they're raising to be considerate. And when you're being considerate, you just really want to be mindful. Basically, considerate is being mindful, respectful, and just treating others how you want to be treated. I have to sum it up: mindful and acting upon those acts. Okay, like saying, okay, if I know that I'm going to be driving a long period of time, but I smoke cigarettes, and I know that, you know, my passengers in the car has asthma. I know that although this is my car, I can do what I want, but I want to be considerate of others' feelings and health to not do it. It's just basically thinking of those, I wouldn't say before yourself, but just thinking of their needs. You don't want to start smoking a cigarette or whatever, and then they start coughing, having an asthma attack. That's not being considerate. It's just having a heart and a mind to know, like, okay, this is what should be done and this should not be done. When most people think of being considerate, they may kind of not think of the word respect, but being considerate is having a form of respect. And so when you're not being considerate, that basically means that you're being disrespectful, which is never okay and never cool. So you just really want to keep reminding yourself, you know what, even if someone has asked you something and you are right about it, you just want to think about it. Okay, am I going to be considerate when I make this answer? Like as a mother, I have to be considerate of the decisions that I make, mindful, thoughtful of the decisions that I make, because I'm a mother. So I know that whatever decision that I decide to do, it will affect my children positively or negatively. So I got to be considerate of that, or considerate of the fact that if I'm working for someone, they're telling, it's their rules and I don't want to go by it, but I got to go by it because I got to be considerate of the fact that, okay, they're telling me to wear this and to be safe, so that they won't get sued, so that no one gets hurt, and they're being considerate of me. So just different things. We just really want to start being more considerate for others and people around us, and even towards ourselves. Even me, I need to be considerate of my health and my well-being and my mind. Like, okay, Destiny, you can't be overdoing stuff. You can't be just eating stuff that you know that's not good, because you're not being considerate of what? Your body, your health. I'm actually disrespecting my health. And it can be a variety of things. It can be minor things, like something small as I'm gonna clean up the bathroom even though I didn't do it, but everybody's using it, so I'm gonna be mindful and just clean it up. Something small like that. Or, you know what, I know that I asked to use my neighbor's car this week and I didn't have the gas at the moment, but now that I have the money, I'm gonna be considerate and mindful, and you know what, give her the gas back, the gas money that I use. Just different things. You just want to treat people how you want to be treated. And even if you don't want to be treated that way, that's the way the world should be. Think of how you need to be treat people. If something is going on, you want to address the situation as calm as possible. You want to be like, okay, how can I be considerate today? And as I'm telling you guys this, I'm thinking too, like, I need to practice being considerate as well, even more. Although it comes naturally, but at times, depending on my mood, I'm not considerate. Just yesterday, my I was doing homework. So I know I told y'all I'm back in school. So that's another reason why I ain't been posting daily, because I'm studying and things, and I'm struggling in some classes already. So I'm getting ready to leave out of town today, and I was like, you know what? Let me get my work done. This was yesterday, and so my daughter asked, "Hey, mommy, you want to go to the park?" And I was like, "No, I didn't want to." Her dad was getting ready to take her, and I was like, "No, I don't want to. Mommy got to study, and then I got to leave tomorrow early, and blah blah blah." And she said, "Okay." Y'all, any other time I usually refuse to go to the park. I'm not a park person. I let everybody else go to the park. I just don't like the germs and blah blah blah. But I sit in the bed and I was like, you know what? My daughter just wants me to go to the park. Let me be considerate. That's my responsibility. I need to be mindful that she just maybe want to spend mommy and daughter time. So I got up and I went. And so it could just be really anything. Everything that you do, it involves being considerate, whether you think about it or not. From school to work to being in a relationship to being married to making decisions, you have to consider everything that you do in life. Even now, today's video, I had to consider it. I had to think about, okay, is this topic going to be meaningful to the viewers that watch my channel? How's it going to help me? How's it going to help them? What examples can I use? All type of thing. I consider everything when I do my videos, the pros and cons of it. So it's just really, really, really important that, please, you guys, just be mindful. And I know a lot of you guys, well, not many people watch my videos, but those that are watching it, I'm sure that we can work on being considerate, being more loving, I wouldn't say loving, but just being more thoughtful. Be very, very thoughtful of how you want something to be done. I just found out some disturbing news from a friend of mine, and it just ruined my whole attitude. Like, are you kidding me? And the stuff that happened to her was not considerate, and the people that did whatever they did, they weren't being considerate at all. They didn't think the situation through, and it's just like, really? Like, that's not cool. And so just remember, whether you choose to be considerate or not, whatever you do is gonna come back around to you. You want that good karma or you want that bad karma, and so it's up to you to really pick and choose how you want to fight your battles or fight whatever's going on with you. But at the end of the day, please remember that, be considerate. When you're around your elders, young people, don't go cussing. Pull your pants up. Don't go smelling and smoking weed in front of them. Just different things. Just being considerate is basically knowing your morals and values. When to do something, when not to do something, how to do it, how to approach the situation. That's really basically it. And we have really got to just get it together. The world is already messed up, and we need to get it together. If one person every day say, you know what, today I'm going to practice being considerate, I'm going to do better. The next thing you know, we got a better community. We have a better state. We have a better world. Just different things. We have really got to start just doing our part. We can't blame everyone. Even if someone approaches with a situation that's just so horrible or puts us in a tough situation, I have to be considerate and mindful. Like, okay, if I do this, how's that going to harm my children? What is the outcome going to be? If I do this, would the police be called? Would I end up going to jail? I'm being considerate of the situation of my children because they need their mother. Of the fact that this is where they stay, I pay the bills, so I need to do that. And even when it comes to paying bills, you guys, mothers, a lot of times we don't be considerate. We lay on our bills, light bill, gas bill, rent, because we decide to get our nails done, or we decide to get our hair done, or we decided to just go spend a little extra money than normal. We weren't being considerate at all. To the fact that we have a responsibility to hold, and that, you know what, we should have just been considerate and put that money aside, already paid the bills, instead of being late for something that was not important. So when you actually think about being considerate, it could just be within anything. When you're in a relationship, be considerate. That, you know what, you need to conduct yourself in a certain respectful manner. When you're married, it's on a whole nother level. Even when you're dating, but marriage just take it to a whole nother level. You can't be doing certain things. Or when you're a teacher, you got to be considerate. You can't speak your mind the way you may want to, because, It may offend the child, so you have to think about the words you want to use. Just every single thing. When you're in business, you have to be mindful and considerate of how you approach a situation, how you greet the person, the clients, just everything. Let's just learn to please start being considerate. Because when you start to be more considerate, good things happen to you. And although we living in a messed up world right now, the Creator ain't forgot nobody. And when you put out that good karma, it's sure gonna come back to you. And it's a good feeling to have. And don't just really be considerate just for the benefit of it. Be considerate because this is now hopefully going to become a part of you. That you want to be considered. You want to be. And that's something that I'm glad that I have. I like to think at times I'm not considerate as I should. But for the most part, I am a considerate person. When I'm around someone, I make sure that I'm not like, just doing something they may not like, or I'm making them feel uncomfortable, or I'm just making sure that everything's okay. Everything's okay. And here go another story for y'all. I always when I had homegirls at the a couple of years ago, when I had friends, I would always say thank you. I'd be like, thank you, thank you. They'd be like, yes, stop saying thank you. And I'm like, well, I'm just saying that, that's just part of me, because I like to just let people know I'm appreciative of what they're doing. Or I would always, it was a old friend of mine that I used to always stay at her house. I was just always over there, whether it's a couple of hours or spending a couple of nights. But I would always knock on the door. I would always knock on the door before I go in her house, even if I just left to go to the store or something. I will knock. And she'd be like, Deystany, you ain't got to knock. I'd be like, I know, but I would still do it, because to me, I was just being considerate, mindful, and respectful. That's not my place. Or I would just try to clean. I would just, even though I didn't make the mess, I would just clean up, or just being mindful, being considerate. So that's something that I think that anyone that has came in contact with me for a long period of time, I'm sure they would say, like, you know what, Deystany is considerate. She's considerate with how she carry herself, with being respectful majority of the time. There are times where, I'm in my mood and I'm just like, whoever they trying to come at me, then I'm going there, which is not always good all the time. But I do get in those moods. But for the most part, they're going to say, you know what, Deystany is considerate. She tries to be thoughtful and mindful of situations, how she approach, or the advice that I give, or I used to give advice. I'm very considerate on that. So if y'all watching this video and there's some things you need to work on within you and within your life and your thought process, and just learning how to accept things and to respond to things respectfully, start practicing that. It goes hand in hand. Communication, respect, treating people how you want it to be treated. And that's basically what being considerate is. Don't do stuff to make people feel uncomfortable. That's why they have curfews. When it's a certain time of night, don't be loud, don't be having parties. Be considerate of your neighbors, those around you. That's just what it is. Being mindful. Yeah, I don't know how long this video is. I gotta kind of hurry up and finish some homework. Anybody good in research method? Because I need that. I'm doing my senior thesis. Please help me out, because I need some help. So I gotta hurry up, and I'm sorry to make it short. Y'all probably happy it's short anyways, but I gotta hurry up and get to that, then hurry up and go take my flight. But remember to be great, be considerate. And again, thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel. Please subscribe. I don't get paid for this just yet, and this is just another form of income that I'm building a strong foundation on, so that I can better myself and my family and my children. So just help a girl out. It's free. I appreciate it. I like to think that I'm putting out good content. I'm not putting out anything that's negative. So why not support? But y'all, will I be seeing y'all tomorrow? If I don't see y'all tomorrow, I'll see you the day after that, because I'm traveling and I got a lot of homework to do. But thank you so much for sticking with me, supporting me, whether it's a like, comment, a share, whatever. I appreciate it. And remember, please be considerate. Like right now, I got to be considerate that I told everybody if they can be quiet right now, because I'm filming a video. So now, I've been doing it for a couple of maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. Now it's enough. Now, I'm being considerate that everybody else need to get back to doing whatever they need to do. So, just be thoughtful, be great. And you guys, we're about to get into song of the day. You guys, I noticed that I looked on the time. I said that the video a little bit short, so I'm about to have a special surprise for you guys, to where my soul sister, the one I actually was talking about, we decided people need to learn to be considerate. She gonna come and just break down the definition and then the whole other way and version of being considerate, and how you need to respect yourself. And I think I talked about respect, but not really how being considerate really starts with you respecting yourself. And that made a good point, because if you don't respect yourself and hold yourself to a certain standard, how are you going to respect someone else? So y'all get into this good treat. I ain't had no guests on the channel for a while, so this is a lovely surprise. I asked her last minute, so you know, stick around to hear what she has to say. It's just gonna be her, because I don't have my setup for 2 chairs right now, but you know, listen to her. She's very knowledgeable, she's intelligent, and I know whatever advice she's going to say is going to be true and worth it.
Yes, my name is Ayana Malay, and I'm pretty much just going to speak from personal experience when it comes to compassion and literally being considerate about other people, even when you're going through your own stuff. So it's like, if you're on a spiritual journey and you're awakening and you know that you're harboring a lot of pain, or if you have some toxic behaviors about yourself that you really haven't worked through, then it's like, be considerate of other people and recognize that about yourself. Or you need to take time and be considerate to yourself and really break down that energy and heal, okay? And if you don't know what that look like, I'm a spiritual practitioner in the making. I have wisdom, at least on my own personal journey, that I would love to share and love to assist and coach someone through. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm a guru, because I feel like anybody that act like they know anything entirely is just full of ego. And that's another thing about compassion and being considerate, is checking your own ego at the door, you feel me? So at this point, it's like, know yourself, because if you don't know yourself, then you don't truly know the person in front of you, because we're all mirrors to one another in this world, okay? So when you're going through your own toxicities, or you're still sensitive to certain vibrations of others who may be in toxicity, the term consideration is basically having that knowledge, foresight, and self-awareness and awareness of others, so that there is some mediation already intact. I'll give you an example. I am a healer in the making. I'm going through and processing my own stuff like many of us are in this world, but I have evolved to a certain point where I will not allow myself to be lowered to a certain standard of behavior, action, or anything else that is outside of my true character as I choose to evolve and grow. That's called a boundary. Alright, so respect your own boundaries, set your own boundaries, and then be considerate of other people's boundaries, because that's just pretty much a level of self-love and self-care that we deserve, and we've already been taught to sacrifice. So it's like, don't expect others to sacrifice themselves for you, because if you're not willing to do that equally, then you're basically being a narcissist. And narcissists exist, or at least a narcissism exists in all of us. It does, because there's yin yang and balance to everything in this world. No matter what healers out there say that they don't get angry sometimes, or they don't get depressed sometimes, or they don't get lows as well as they get highs, they ain't telling the truth, okay? So be considerate of yourself and know whom you are, so that when people come towards you, you're able to basically have an emotional intelligence. That's another thing that's a part of consideration, is being emotionally intelligent with people, with yourself, and that way seeing others' emotions and being intelligent enough to know how to respond rather than react to those, okay? So again, on my journey, I have met people who, you know, come off as one way. You see this one face like, oh yeah, this is a great person, they got a good heart. But at the end of the day, it's like, you didn't just went through a whole battle of hell that you could have, or I could have avoided if I would have stayed true to my own intuition. Like, you know what, that person's still exhibiting some behaviors that, even though they claim they healers, or, you know, water sign, whatever, you know what I'm saying, or people who think that their chart qualifies them for certain abilities, that doesn't mean they've done the work behind practicing those abilities effectively, consistently, and again with that consideration towards other people who have also done the work, as well as those who haven't, okay? So key thing is, do unto others as you would do to yourself. All right, if you ain't loving yourself right, if you're not treating yourself right, if you don't know what self-care is and all that, how can you expect that energy to come from other people because you're not even able to reciprocate that out. Okay, if you know that you get into a conflict or some type of situation with someone, and regardless of what your feelings are about, things are old, okay, or there's some things that's like, especially when money is involved, and you know that your feelings is basically creating an injustice to someone simply because you want to harbor things against them, all that inconsideration is literally going to come back as karma, or you're just going to have to keep learning lessons until you rise above your own toxic roots, okay, which again we all have, because we got to go through pain in order to grow through it. Once you recognize those roots within yourself and you actually learn to deal and heal with you can have much more a much more large reservoir, okay, a deeper reservoir of that consideration and compassion and knowledge and awareness for other people who are on the journey, either learning to do that for themselves or those who have reached a certain point of mastery. I say a certain point of mastery, okay, so where you're either going to rise to a certain standard or you're not. So the whole, I don't know what the other parts were about consideration because I wasn't in here, but that's just my take on it, is in order for consideration to truly be valid, you need to first consider yourself in a situation. Are you at your best point? Are you giving that person your best you, or vice versa? And if not, then that evidently should explain the lack of consideration inside of, that example or situation that you're in. And if you are the one to be able to rise above and be the example of what a considerate person can be, and that is somebody that you are, you hold on to that. You continue to use it as a superpower, okay? Because at the end of the day, those who are able to navigate both realms but stay true to their higher self, their higher calling, and their higher purpose, to whatever the overall order of divine is, whether you are religious and you believe in an entity such as God and angels, or you're just someone who's spiritual, you like, I am my own God and God is being, or you're someone like me who embody both. Regardless, that growth in you and that ability for you to know thyself is a much, much more healthy way for you to show thyself to the world. So that's just my take on consideration. I pray that it reaches someone out there who is able to receive some type of light on the situation that you're in, whether it's you looking at yourself or you just recognizing something in someone else where it's like, okay, I can see it for what it is, and that you receive the healing that we all are looking for and are so much deserving of.
I hope that was a treat for you guys, and we're about to get into Song of the Day.